welcome to the Evolution Exchange UK podcast. We're bringing together the best technical leaders to talk about the industry passions and challenges they are facing. I'm Luke Vickers from Evolution Recruitment Solutions, and I help businesses collect with top talent as well as help companies share their success stories. And today I am your host. Today I'm joined by Natasha Pratley, Digital Marketing Specialist at Green Custard, and Scott McKenzie, Director of Beyond the Bottles platforms at Britvic. Thanks both. I'm here today to talk about the incredible work you've done together and the amazing impact that it's had. So, Natasha, could you please tell us about yourself and your role at Green Custard?
Sure. So I'm the, as you mentioned, digital marketing specialist at Green Custard. I joined the team last year just to help promote all the wonderful things that they've been doing. You know, they've got so many amazing innovations with customers and projects like this one. So my role is to highlight those and just help people find out about them.
Brilliant. Thanks, Natasha. And Scott, can you please tell us about yourself and your role at Britvic?
Yeah, so my name's Scott McKenzie. As you said, I'm the Director of Beyond the Bottle platforms at Britvic. I've been with Britvic about 7 years now. I'm primarily working in the IT digital space. My role currently is supporting how we innovate and develop what we term the Flavor Tap, which is a new proposition moving into the micro dispense market and workplace channels, and also how we build that platform out across the wider Britvic portfolio to give us a dispense platform for the future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, both. And I'll hand over to you to walk through the questions that you're going to talk through today on the incredible work that you've done together.
All right. Thank you. So, Scott, my first question, what was the vision behind developing the Flavor Tap, particularly how it ties into your Healthy People, Healthy Planet initiative?
So I think the vision was really around two sort of key questions. Firstly, obviously, Britvic have a 2025 strategy around Healthy People, Healthy Planet. So how could we support that agenda? How could we make a difference from the innovation space? And then also, how could we look at what is new ground, new white space from a Britvic perspective, where we can genuinely disrupt the market and where we can look to start to build new business models and generate new revenue.
Okay, fantastic. And how did the Flavor Tap aim to mitigate these challenges?
So what the Flavor Tap gives us is a great opportunity to tackle some sustainability questions that are starting to come up in the market. So as we know that from a regulatory perspective, there's a number of challenges coming down on single-use plastic. We want to be on the forefront of how we are tackling sustainability for our consumers. And the Flavor Tap gives us a real opportunity from a dispense perspective to address some of those challenges and give our consumers and our customers different options.
Okay.
Just for mine and the listeners' understanding, Scott and Natasha, of course, I've done some research into what the Flavor Tap is, but could you just give an overview of what the Flavor Tap is within Britvic?
Yes, so the Flavor Tap is a system that we've built from the ground up. It's a microdose flavor water system. So within each unit, we can dispense up to 10,000 250 ml drinks, which means we remove the need to use any single-use plastic in any vessels for the consumer and the customer. It's an IoT connected device, so we can collect telemetry data around the dispensers that we take, the consumables that are being changed, and also alert the customer around machine issues or when they need to change the consumables. And it's a AWS-driven platform, so we utilize a lot of the capabilities from an AWS perspective.
Amazing, thank you.
So how did the partnership between Britvic and Green Custard come about, Scott?
It's a bit of a fortuitous relationship, if I'm honest. So we had the idea around the Flavor Tap, or certainly around a new innovative way of dispensing for our customers around about 2019, and started a bit of proof of concept work, which was really just a very simple, could we take an existing water tap and could we add an Alexa skill with an Alexa unit and dispense a drink? And Britvic already have a very strong relationship with AWS. So AWS were very supportive in helping us develop that proof of concept. But as a small innovation team, we just didn't have the breadth of skills to develop an IoT product from the ground up. So we needed to build a small set of strong partners. And that's where AWS recommended Green Custard. We started working with them, and the rest is history. We've been working on the product since then.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Can you elaborate on the specific functionalities of the Flavor Tap for us? So how it works with AWS IoT and the serverless services?
Yeah, so as I alluded to earlier, so it's a microdose flavor water system that we've built from the bare metal all the way up to the cloud platform. We use all the standard AWS serverless capabilities. We connect through IoT Core. We use for analytics and reporting, Athena, QuickSight, etc. And what's great about that is that from an AWS perspective, it's a serverless architecture. So we use what we need, only the capabilities when we need to, which allows us to keep the cost to minimal, but also gives us capability to scale up. So what we found on the journey is that the services our AWS offer are fantastic, but there is a learning curve and there is some development that we need to go through to really utilize it to the levels that we need to for a fully fledged IoT unmanned device.
Okay. So what insights have Britvic gained from the data collected by the Flavor Tap, particularly regarding sort of user preferences and consumption patterns?
So we're learning about our consumer preferences and consumption patterns on a continual basis. We now have a number of units in the market where we're seeing over 150,000 user touch points on the taps every month, which, along with now being able to get near-time data, gives us just fantastic visibility into the type of behaviors our consumers have and the preferences, but also our customers. So it's not just our consumers, it's our customers who purchase the taps and then operate the taps on a daily basis. I guess one interesting learning that I can call out is that we went into this with an assumption that from a day part perspective, so your morning, afternoon, evening, that we would see customers primarily having the hot drinks, teas and coffees in the morning, and then flipping into water and flavored water in the afternoons. But actually, now we have the data that we're seeing that assumption has been thrown in its head. We see customers drinking flavored water continually throughout the day, and where we have taps in 24-hour locations, we're seeing people drinking flavored water throughout the whole day period. So I think that's one example of where we've really learned something new and gives us new opportunities from a Britvic and Aqua Libra perspective of how we target our consumers going forward.
Fantastic. That actually leads into my next question very well. I was about to ask if there were any sort of unexpected findings or outcomes. Was there anything during the trial period that influenced how you sort of strategized moving forward?
Yeah, I wouldn't term it that we had any unexpected findings or outcomes, because we really went into the trial and what we've done over the last few years with a complete open mind. This is a new area for us where Britvic have never really worked before, or Aqua Libra. And because of that, it gives us an opportunity to really get closer to the consumer and learn more about what the consumer wants. And that just not only ties into what preferences from a drinks perspective, but also from the hardware proposition, what type of things works from a hardware solution side. So the trial showed us that there's a need for sustainable flavor water proposition, which is probably the key learning that we take away, which is what we originally thought was an idea and a stab in the dark has now turned into a fully fledged business.
Wonderful. So how does the Flavor Tap contribute to your sustainability goals in terms of waste reduction and carbon emissions?
So the vision of Aqua Libra is to provide sustainable, healthy hydration products for our consumers and customers. So that in itself aligns well with what Britvic's 2025 agenda on Healthy Planet, Healthy People is.
Okay, fantastic. Can you explain the decision-making process behind the distribution of the Flavor Tap units between workplace and commercial settings?
Yeah, so it's not so much a decision-making process. I think workplace for us was an obvious target, taking the Flavor Tap into the market, because we're already targeting an established consumer ritual, which is a still sparkling hot tap, which you see in a number of offices around the country. And we see the Flavor Tap being relevant to a number of other business segments, but really we're testing and learning as we go. So workplace was an established area that we could target and learn quickly, but we see retail, we see travel, we see other segments as opportunities to test and learn over the next few years.
That sounds really exciting. Okay, so what adjustments or enhancements were made to the Flavour Tap based on what you learned during the trial period?
So the trial period for us was really, could we build something internally from an Aqua Libra and Britvic perspective, never having built an IoT capability before? And also, would our consumers like it? Do our consumers interested in flavored water, and also are they interested in the proposition from a hardware perspective that we developed? So we learned a lot from that trial, but if I'm brutally honest, we kind of scrapped it after that and have completely rebuilt the product with green custard since. So what we have in the market today is very different from what we built to validate our assumptions in the trial. But it's now become quite a sophisticated product that we see great feedback and great response from our customers.
Awesome. How do you think your Flavour Tap might evolve in the future, considering sort of technological advancements and market demands?
So we're really focusing on the workplace segment at the moment, and building the wider consumer awareness of the Aqua Libra brand and the Aqua Libra product. I think internally we have a number of ideas about how we can push into different channels, how we could have some different aesthetics and designs on the hardware proposition itself. There's a lot more we can do around the data, bringing in some AI capability and some more analytics. But really right now it's focusing on the workplace channel, the awareness, and building the brand that will then give us the opportunity to test and learn further with different channels and different customers.
Okay. How has the collaboration with Green Custard and the utilisation of AWS influenced your approach to innovation and sustainability beyond the Flavour Tap project?
So it's been a really interesting journey with AWS and Green Custard on this project. As I started with my introduction, my background primarily has been in IT, in enterprise companies, which typically a supplier-customer relationship can be quite challenging and can be quite segmented into sort of project deliveries. What we've managed to develop on this journey with Green Custard is really a more collaborative, more team-like experience, where we really leverage the expertise that Green Custard brings us from an IoT perspective, but also feedback to Green Custard and help support them in their journey on how we develop a more robust capability. AWS has been a supporter for us from the very start. So they are, with our wider Britvic business, they are our enterprise platform, and they're very keen to support where we can innovate and where we can develop new propositions. So they've been fantastic with us as well. Now that we have the Flavour Tap in place and we have it in the market and we're seeing great response from our customers, we're focusing on how we build that into the market, but also how we build the wider cloud IoT capabilities so that we can then utilize that in other areas across Britvic, and give that same level of capability and experience to other Britvic customers.
Okay. So my last question for you then, Scott, what advice would you offer to other businesses who are looking to integrate sustainability initiatives with innovative solutions like the Flavour Tap?
So I think in general, any new business or innovation now needs to have a clear sustainability story. It's no longer a nice to have. It needs to be a key part of your proposition. That's why we've developed the Flavour Tap. That's where we see the Flavour Tap and the wider Flavour platform being a door opener, if you like, for our sustainability needs as we move into the future years of Britvic. And I think that's something key for other businesses and other new initiatives and innovations to think about, is how they tackle that sustainability question as part of their overall proposition and their story.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Scott. Luke, was there anything else that you wanted to know? Any burning questions?
Yeah, so I had a question, Scott. I choose to come into my workplace 5 days a week because I just prefer it from working from home at the moment. And we have the standard hot and cold tap that's available to us. But after listening to the stuff that you do, I mean, flavoured water, all the other stuff, especially with the sustainability impacts as well, I'd love that to be an option for me and more people. How do more people access information about how this can be available to them?
Great question. So we have a website where people can complete a form to get more information about the Aqua Libra products and the Flavour Tap in specifically. We also have an Aqua Libra group on WhatsApp for Business where anyone can search and can contact us for more information. And obviously from this podcast, if anyone wants to reach out to me, they're more than welcome. I'm more than welcome to put, I would love to put a Flavour Tap everywhere I can. So I'll probably just invite a deluge of people contact me. But
yeah,
I often see them in the media and on socials because I follow you guys on LinkedIn. So I get little updates every time you get a new tap somewhere, and it's always exciting to see.
Yeah, and that's another area we're focusing on is how do we drive that marketing awareness over the next 12 months to really drive the Flavour Tap into the workplace environments.
Yeah, I think it's a great initiative, and it's definitely something that I'd like to take advantage of. Is there specific channels alongside your website and WhatsApp for Business, such as is LinkedIn a good place to go? Is there any better places to access the information to speak with you, Scott?
Yeah, I think any of the social channels. So LinkedIn is a great channel to reach out to us, either individually to myself or to that Colibra company on LinkedIn. Also all the social media channels. So we have a good Instagram presence. We have a good Facebook presence. So I think anywhere you can find that Colibra, feel free to reach out and somebody will be in touch.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, both. So before we end the podcast, I'd like to say thanks so much to all our guests for sharing their thoughts in today's conversation. We had Natasha Pratley at Green Custard and Scott McKenzie at Britvic speaking today. If you are hiring for new technical roles or looking for a new role, feel free to get in touch with us here at Evolution. Or if you're just looking to shout about the amazing work that your companies are doing, either together or individually, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Luke Vickers, and you can find me on LinkedIn or email at luke.vickers@evolutionjobs.co.uk. Thanks again to all our guests, and thank you very much for listening. We hope you can join us next time.